later on, by the way, but I think we're gotten into the game. I'll let you introduce the first player, Belnora.
Alright, playing for Team Mouse Control, one of the oldest teams in the Netherlands, is the yellow Terran player. It's SwitchBack in the top position here on Overgrowth, and his opponent is going to be Jona, playing for AT Gaming, and he's wearing his pink collar today. Feeling fashionable.
Very nice. Maybe getting a bit of the Stefano vibe up in there. The Stefano who actually retired but still plays. I love it. Alright, but we see something happening. Nothing out of the ordinary. First of all, no quick rushes, no six pools or anything. And we also see the first supply depot coming up at the ramp. Of course, a staple move for Terran players versus Zerg. Although there was a time that I'm not sure if supply depots were built at the ramp. Is that right?
Yeah, there was a time, very brief period of time when Terran players opted to build their supply depots as close to the mineral patches as possible to maximize the mining of the first SCV, but that time is long since past. Now Jona, he is sending out his first overlord over the watchtower, potentially scouting out for proxy barracks. The second overlord is going to head towards this location on above the second base, or the natural base, which Jona is putting down just now, and should veer a little bit towards the right side of the map later on to maybe see if there are any barracks down here, so that he can make proper adjustments to his build. And he's going to be very content to see that there are no such things in play. Meanwhile, SwitchBack just finishing up his barracks. He did took a rather early refinery, so we're going to be having a Reaper coming out of this barracks very soon.
Alright, a Reaper gives you scouting at the very least. And I'm not sure if it's supposed to do damage, right? But you may try, and if you get some damage done, that's a bonus. But it's mainly for the scouting, is that right, the Reaper?
Yeah, exactly. You use it mainly to scout out the Zerg player, keep him in check, check the number of Zerglings he's putting out on the map. Usually it's only 2 or 4 Zerglings at the start of the game. And then later on, when you start making Hellions, you can put on some serious pressure onto the Zerg player. So we have the first Reaper coming out. Overlord sees it. You're not going to know exactly what's happening. Now, there's a second Reaper following this up. Some Terran players like to keep it at the natural so that the SCV building the command center is safe from any potential link run-bys, because you can defend very easily versus one Reaper with Queens, so you can send the other links across the map, bypass the Reaper if the Reaper does not see the links coming. Or what you can do with the second Reaper is rendezvous with the first one and get as many Zergling or drone kills as you can. Some players even opt to go for a third Reaper, and I think this is exactly what SwitchBack is doing now. So he's going to put a lot of pressure onto Jona straight from the get-go.
You're right, definitely. And he's following up with a factory right away after these 3 Reapers. Of course, after his expansion command center has started. So we're going to see that gas used for other things besides Reapers.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, Jona, he does have his link speed on the way, so...
Oh, he loses a Reaper actually.
Oh, that was a little bit unfortunate, a little bit sloppy there from SwitchBack. He could have put on a lot of hurt towards Jona, make him pretty much present a challenge for Jona to micro his drones around, because 3 Reapers 2-shot drones and Zerglings as opposed to 3-shotting, and now he lost that Reaper, so Jona in a better spot than he would have ordinarily been. And there's a third command center coming from SwitchBack, so no crazy high pressure stuff going to be happening neither. Looks like SwitchBack wants to be playing a pretty good old-fashioned macro game.
Definitely, yeah. Would you say that this map, being not that very big, is suited for such a macro play?
I think you can do both. You can go macro, or you can do pressure builds. I mean, some Zerg players, they like to stay on 2 bases a little longer, and then try to go for a Ling, Baneling Roach attack, or just a good old-fashioned Baneling bust. So if you take a third command center too early, you will not have the production necessary to hold that off. Specifically versus Roaches. Even more so when you're not going with a quick stop, which is exactly what SwitchBack is doing right now. Jona taking a third base, however, keeping an eye on the potential third of the Terran player, so playing very safely, not rushing headlong into anything here.
Definitely. And SwitchBack is working on a bit of a wall, a defensive wall at his front. setting up bunkers and supply depots there. But now, getting ready for a bit of a move out. Let's see what he can do with these Hellions. Of course, these are very, very good at roasting drones, but there's a Zergling run by into the natural SwitchBack.
Yeah, SwitchBack will have to turn around. Those Zerglings not getting any kills so far. There's one SCV going down, but I think that's going to be all those Zerglings will be able to accomplish. And look at this SwitchBack. Actually, what was this?
I think it was worth it because of the movement that SwitchBack did with his SCVs. I think those Zerglings paid for themselves in terms of lost mining time for SwitchBack.
Yeah, I think so. And he only lost one SCV there, so that was definitely a good move, at least for now. Now, Jona, he did establish his third base, and he's starting to get the upgrades for the Zerglings. A little bit slow on the second evolution chamber there, so he's not going to be playing the double evo game, not trying to get ahead in the upgrades. Switchback, I think he should be getting double engineering base, so if he queues up those upgrades straight away, he should be just a little tiny bit ahead on one of those upgrades. Not going to matter too much in the grand scheme of things, but this could be dangerous. Marauders being added on into the mix with the Hellions and the Reapers. This could be deadly. And Jona, I don't think he saw that coming.
Well, he can see it coming very close. He sees one of the Hellions pop out of the fog of war with his Overlord on the right side. Now he sees the entire force, including the Marauders. So let's see what his reaction is. His Queens are not going to cut it against this.
Oh, Stimpback just now finished. Beautiful timing here for Switchback, attacking at the most opportune time. Good transfuses coming out of Jona, but one... Oh, it doesn't fall! The one Queen very narrowly stays alive. But look at this, still Marauders staying alive here. Only two of them, supported with Hellions and Reapers. Switchback putting a lot of pressure onto Jona. Jona microing very, very, very well, but loses all three Queens in the end. Tries to buy enough time for more Zerglings to come out. He's going to clean this up eventually, but he suffered quite a bit of losses here.
Yeah, well, let's check out the units lost tab. So it's 14 units lost. 7 drones went down. That is not like a killer amount of drones, I think.
Oh, that is not, but 25 Zerglings have gone down as well. Now, Jona played this very calmly. He did not morph any Banelings, despite the fact that he did have Banelingness. He defended only with Lings, and despite the fact that he does have the Spire finished, he knows that Switchback had to have invested a lot into this attack, so he's not going to save up his gas and build as many Mutalisks as he can. What? Instead, he's going for a Baneling bust. Yeah!
They're all white.
The bunker did go down, the wall has been breached and not being rebuilt so far, but Jona unwilling to follow this attack up with the Lings.
This was like a waste. I mean, you used the Banelings to crack open the wall, and then you want to do something with that open wall, like streaming with some Zerglings, but now he didn't do that, so all he did was throw away some Banelings against the bunker.
Well, he did get 4 more SCV kills at the natural base, so it wasn't entirely useless. And now the Mutalisks are entering the game, but Switchback already has a turret up in his main base. Nothing in the natural, but he does have quite a bit of Marines here to defend. Question is, can he face up against those Banelings? Jona doesn't have quite enough Mutalisks yet to be able to fight this army head-on with what he has, but that can change quite quickly here.
Nice. I like how Switchback is not forgetting his infantry upgrades. Stim, shields, you know, the +1 armor and attack. Sometimes you see players facing someone they think will beat them, as I might imagine Switchback is thinking in this situation, and then forget vital upgrades. But Switchback's not doing that and actually microing very well against these Zerglings, but still it's a lot of Zerglings with support. So
that's a lot of Zerglings, and the medevac goes down as well. Jona picking that one up. That was a very nice pickup for him. Denies the third base from mining. At the same time, though, as he's on the offensive, there's a drop in his main base just now unloading, and Jona has to evacuate the main mineral line. But will he get this third command center? That is the question.
No, I don't think he will. He goes back to defend. I think this has been a great move for Switchback, not just because he did some damage, but also because he held off, he forced Jona to retreat for a while, which gives him some breathing room, and actually we see him re-expanding to his third. I think this is what he needs to do to get back in the game, because he is quite far behind on supply.
Oh, yeah, that is true. He is. He's down 40 supply compared to Jona. Jona does clean up the main base and does go back. He also has his fourth up and running, only taking 1 gas there so far, so he's working off of 7 gases. Well, man, off of 7 gases, as I say that. That's a whooping lot of gas.
Yeah.
I mean, if we take a look at it, and he's been spending all of it, so take a look at his Mutafog. It's up to 17 already versus 30 Marines and no other anti-air, no Thors in sight. Yeah, a couple of Widow Mines, but they're not going to protect the entire mineral line at the third base. The bunker is empty there as well. So, you know, Jona, I think the best approach right now for him would be to wait for those 2-2 upgrades to finish, to kick in, especially given the fact that SwitchBack is behind on that. He did not queue those up immediately, and just max out and go for it. I don't think SwitchBack would be able to hold off such a massive attack.
Nope. Do you think it's intentional that SwitchBack has a half-finished missile turret in his third base mineral line?
As a matter of fact, I don't, but it's certainly very, very interesting. And here comes Jona with the attack. 2-2, only just now finishing, so the timing could not have been better. Huge explosion there on the Marines and the Widow Mine, and I think this third is going down.
That's it. That's just carnage.
Yeah, Jona
is gone.
Absolutely gone. 17 SCVs have died there as well, and Jona is in a commanding position in this game. 150 supply to 73.
Did you see that Widow Mine hit all the Mutalisks?
Yeah, they're so hurt, but you know what? The regeneration on the Mutalisks is a very good ability. Not enough Marines to finish those off. So Jona can just close out the game with pure Mutalisks. And there's the GG from SwitchBack as game 1 goes to the Zerg player.
Victory for Jona.